Hey, podcast fans, do you like comedy, news, or true crime? The Shop Pod merch store has something that every podcast fan can enjoy. We've got AirPod cases, coffee mugs, blankets, water bottles, and so much more. Show your podcast pride or hook up the podcast lovers in your life with merch that you know they'll love. Visit shoppodmerch.com and use coupon code WTP to get 10% off your first purchase. The link to the store is in the description. Again, that's code WTP at shoppodmerch.com for 10% off your first purchase. Shop Pod Merch, the official merch for podcast fans. Welcome to What the Pod. I go by the name of DJ Tracy, your favorite pod mother and the undisputed queen of podcast recommendations. What the Pod is a podcast that recommends new shows for you to listen to. What's going on to everyone who's listening to me on Jam? Thank you so much for tuning in today, and let's jump right into today's show. This podcast aims to bring the climate crisis to our attention. Miami is one of the most vulnerable coastal cities on the planet because of rising seas and stronger hurricanes. Billions of dollars are being invested into the region to be able to adapt to hotter temperatures and stronger storms. But will it be enough? Check out the How We Survive podcast today. This podcast gives a humorous take on all things that make Black people go up, like an all-Black movie cast, the phrase Black owned, and some unexpected things like Paramore. Listen, I'm a Black person that likes Paramore. Check out the Black People Love Paramore podcast today. Visit the world's most haunted destinations and find out what happens when a soul leaves a body but doesn't leave the grounds. Haunted Places is a Spotify original with new episodes every Thursday. Check out the Haunted Places podcast today. Thank you so much for listening to What the Pod. If you like any of my podcast picks, then share my show with your friends. As always, click the link in the show notes to follow along with these podcasts with me on Spotify. Text What the Pod to 552266 to get your daily episode text right to you. Let me know your favorites on TikTok. Follow me at DJ Tracy. That's DJ TRICEY. If you love me and you love my show, then give me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I'll check back in with you tomorrow where I'll have 3 new shows for you to listen to. Hey you, thanks so much for listening to What the Pod. This podcast continues to grow because of people like you. If you like backstage access and longer podcast and chill episodes, then join the What the Pod fan club on Apple Podcasts. Membership is only $2.99 a month, and 100% of the funds go right back into producing more content like this. I know you're a fan, so join the club exclusively on Apple Podcasts. The holidays are right around the corner, and you're probably in need of some pretty epic stocking stuffers. If your friends and family love podcasts, then head over to shoppodmerch.com to get them podcast merch that you know they'll love. We've got holiday wine tumblers, beanies, mugs, AirPod cases, and so much more. Give the podcasters in your life the gift of cool pod merch. Visit shoppodmerch.com and use code WTP to get 10% off your first purchase. The link is in the description. Again, that's code WTP at shoppodmerch.com for 10% off your first purchase. Shop Pod Merch, the official merch for podcast fans. Are you lost in your podcast journey? If so, you found the right podcast. My name is DJ Tracy, and I'm a podcast producer. In partnership with the Qube, I'm bringing you the Lost and Found for podcasters. I've worked behind the scenes on some of your favorite podcasts, and I'll be bringing you some great conversations with podcast industry experts to help you find your way through your podcast journey. There's so much information out there, and the industry is rapidly changing. No need to feel lost. You found the right podcast. Subscribe to the Lost and Found for podcasters now. Everywhere that you listen to podcasts, if you prefer your podcast in video, click the link in the description to subscribe to this podcast on YouTube.